It's me, Amy Eddington, here to present cut sheets to you today. We heard about this early on to me coming over on board here with Thinkly. And um, the one thing that I have to say that has completely amazed me is looking back in time and realizing that not much has changed over 30 years when it comes to cut sheets. I had somebody share something with me from 1993, and you guys, it was the only difference was instead of a beautiful colored rendering, it was black and white. And what I got out of that and realized was, what can we do about cut sheets to make them more automated, right? Because that's where you guys are having all of your time stuck, is actually having to spend the time to hand type things in, make sure you're grabbing a right image, multiple images, organizing all of that. And so what we did inside of Worksheet for you guys is we have automated it from a single product and have given you cut sheets that will spit out into a PowerPoint. And so I'm going to show you all of that. I also want you to know you are welcome to ask any and all questions. I want to hear from you. Comments too. If you're like, hey, Amy, that really sucks. Why did you do that? I want to hear that, because if it sucks, somebody else might think it sucks. We want to make it awesome for you. So make sure that you're communicating, letting us know what you think when you get this. The other big thing that I'm going to mention is the release originally, which is why we did it today, was supposed to come out today. However, as you all know, in technology, we sometimes have some little things called bugs. We had a bug come up in QA last week, and we took one more week. We fixed it. We are going to the last of QA this week, and we will be pushing it out actually next week, Tuesday. So you are going to have to wait one more week to get your hands on cut sheets. However, it's only one more week, right? So we've made it this far. I think we can go one more week. With all of that said, let's see what this cut sheets is all about, right? So let's go ahead, minimize that. Let's think about summer, because that's nice. I'm in Michigan, and no joke, there was snow today, you guys, while I was making coffee. Like, come on, it's end of April. We should not have snow. All right, so a few things before I show you cut sheets, because it is, again, something so simple and easy that you're probably going to be like, really? That's it? So I have come in here and I have gone through and randomly selected 20 different products in here from different manufacturers. There's what manufacturer I didn't pull from. I'm sorry. There was no specific picking. It was just picking random ones in here. But as you can see, I've specified all of these products. All is good. I don't need to run this through Pricing Center right now, although if I wanted to give this to a client, I may want to do that, right? And so if that was the case, depending upon how many different manufacturers you have in here, you would need to run Pricing Center. And just as a quick little tip too, remember Pricing Center is under File, Pricing Center, and there is a whole bunch of them in here now. So if you are not in here, you also should be in here. But let's time out for that today and talk about cut sheets. Cut sheets. I'm going to go to File as well. Don't be alarmed by the X. I will tell you, on the facelift that we're using for Worksheet, we've made really cool icons. Going to look really, really awesome. However, it did not make it back over on this side of where we're making it. So don't be alarmed by the red X. Cut sheets is correct. So I go in here, and also I should note, I am going to create this for all 20 items, but you're going to see in a minute here that we can do it for specifics as well. So sure, let's call it cut sheets webinar. Yep, let's replace that. And it's going to go through here, and it is going to create and show you your progress. Now, as with anything, the more you have of something, the longer it's going to take. So I'm going to imagine if you had 100 line items of ancillary products, this might take a bit of time. Not a ton, but you can see it's not going to be like super, super fast. And this was the other thing. I was playing around with this the other day, and I was like, oh, it's done. No, it's not. Just wait a second. I went to go find the file and open it myself because I hadn't put my patient pants on. And then all of a sudden it popped up, and I was like, beautiful, right? So would I like to open it? Yes, I'd like to open it. I want to see what this awesome cut sheets is all about. It opens up into PowerPoint. And you are going to now have a list of all of the different products that you have from the company, from the manufacturer, with the part number, a description, and then obviously all of your parts and pieces along with the finished selection that we have here. I can come down here and I can look at any of these. I can also come in here and I can make any changes, right? Because I'm in PowerPoint. Now, one thing to note in here, and I purposely left these in here, and talk about manufacturers that have not properly supplied their materials for this. If you are coming across that, I'm going to tell you to reach out to your manufacturer and complain to them, because obviously it's always great when the dealer complains to the manufacturer. But also you can reach out to us as well and let us know. So you can reach out to our support, mention it, and we can make sure we can reach out to the manufacturer as well. However, let's look at this one for a second, right? Maybe we come in here and we're like, hey, we don't need all of this business up at the top here. Maybe we want to come in and we just want to say this is going to be in conference room. I could type 100. Right? I can come in and I can make that change. It only makes that change here. If I were to run the report again, it's going to come back with all of that, which is really, really nice. And so as you can see right now, this is specific to one product line at a time. It's not going to do a typical, right? So if, let's say you had all the parts and pieces inside of Worksheet, creating a typical, it's not going to actually create this for a typical. However, I'll talk about more of that in a minute and some ideas of maybe how we can get there as well. But what I also want to do is show you just how quickly we can come back in. We can select the product, right? Select product. And let's say we want to make a change to the specification. Maybe the client saw this. Maybe you sent it off and they're like, oh yeah, not that green. We don't like that green. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to the beginning, right? And then let's come back in here and actually go, yep, actually clients totally changed their mind. They want blue. All right, so we're going to change it to blue. Let's go ahead and just select some of the rest of this. Great. Finish. Click off. We can see it's blue. Now, you likely are not going to want to run this all again for all 20 items. Or again, let's think about this with more than just 20 items. But what I can do is I can select that line item, go to File and Cut Sheet. Go ahead, give it a name. We're going to call this Cut Sheet Chair. And hit Save. And yes, we want to open it. And now all I have to do is go, well, this is what they actually wanted. So let's go back to our original PowerPoint and say, let's delete this guy, right? And let's add the other one in. Maybe let them back up. It's that simple. So also don't get stuck on trying to run the whole thing again for the report. Only run what you need, copy and paste it in, and all is good in the world. This is Cut Sheets. I wish I could do like a bigger ta-da for you or something, but it is that simple. And I would love if to stop for a minute if there's any questions. I haven't seen anything come through the chat, but if there are, feel free. Type away. It's that simple, you guys. I mean, that question for me. I love it. Do you guys like it? I guess maybe that's another one. Another question you could throw in here is this looking like this is going to help solve some much needed time that you'd like back in your life? Okay, I see a hand. Oh, maybe I don't see a hand anymore. Really weird. There's another Amy on the phone. That's my marketing Amy. Amy, I am not seeing any of the chats on my end. So please share them with me. Okay. Hold for a second, guys. For some reason, it is not showing up on, I can't even read it. Like I can just see a portion of it. It's really strange. Okay. There are way in cut sheets that cut sheets can also be populated with a total quantity and a tag for each item. Or do we have to manually type that in? So as of today, you manually have to type that in. However, I'll mention this now and I'll mention it again at the end of the webinar. I am doing a webinar next week with Design Pop, May 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central. And we are looking to expand on cut sheets based off of a webinar she actually previously had and based off of things that I've been hearing since we've been working on cut sheets. Exactly what you just said is something that has come up and we would want to add in. So if you also want to sign up for that webinar next week, go over to Design Pop. And that's going to be more of a working session and really generating the ideas of this kind of like phase 2 of what we do with cut sheets. Does it show list or cell? Let me come back in here and look really quick. So it's showing list, but that is something that we absolutely could change to cell. Or I guess would that be an option that you would like to have if we can determine which one we want to have? This is so exciting. Can you turn offline specifically pricing before exporting? Again, not today, but it's sounding like to have this manipulation, there's something that I am going to present in that webinar next week that I really think is going to help us with all of these types of specifics that you guys are asking for. Will the alias column transfer into the cut sheet as well? That is something that we just need to tell it to. So on this first go, we grabbed, you can see the I'll call it the basics of what we were thinking was the most important, but we can obviously go back in and make these changes as well. Do you have to have the preview on for the item to export out? This is very cool, by the way. Thank you. No, you don't, because it's already there. So it's going to pick it up. I just typically always have mine on, so I'm just used to having that one on, but that is okay if you don't have it on. Can we have it not show the price, or is it able to be customized? Again, going back to what I've mentioned, that's where we're going to get into that customization next week. Will we be able to choose what fields are included? Yep, same thing. Can you add a logo? So yeah, basically there is what we're looking to do in the enhancement with cut sheets is literally creating placeholders, if you will, of where you want items. And then through those placeholders and what I'll call behind the scenes folders of you placing the correct JPEG image, if you will, and or if we're calling from a column, it's a totally different tool than for what we did here initially. Obviously a lot more complex and allows us to do really what the specifics that you're looking to do. Can you add a cut sheet to logo? So yes, we're looking to add that in. I mean, obviously right now you could add that through PowerPoint. Do all cut sheets show the same basic information? Yes. So every single cut sheet is going to look like this for right now. Going to grab this content and it's just going to put it in there based off of the columns that we are pulling from. Could we export it into Google Slides instead of PowerPoint? Interesting. You're the first person to say that, but that is something I will have to take back to developers to answer that question as to the ease of being able to do that. If you have the same share repeated on multiple lines because it's in several different locations distinguished by alias, will multiple pages export? I'm going to go ahead and say yes to that. And you know what? Just for the sake of argument, let's update here. Yeah, copy. Okay. Okay, so we've got another one here. Let's just for funsies see what happens. And let's just change the quantity too, so we see something different. 5. And we're going to run the whole thing again because I want to see if it's going to pick up 2. And my guess is yes, because it's just picking up every single line that we see in there. So let's try it out. Will it show custom pictures if they're added onto the worksheet? When you say custom pictures, say more in that. You manually enter a line, like it exported as well, or only worksheets to put it items. That's also a really great question. I actually don't have the answer to that. Oh, you know why? Because I gave it some file name that was silly on my part and the file was open. Try that one more time. Call this one. You manually enter a line. So I'm going to have to come back on a couple of these questions for you guys because I am unsure. I want to say yes, but I don't know for sure on that. Will feel on fabric show on the furniture image or thumbnail fabric finish at the bottom? Yeah, so if you apply to COM and well, now I take that back down. I don't know if the COM would show itself or not. Quickly going back to the other one, you guys, you can see both showed up. So answer to that question is yes. If it's on there multiple times, it is going to appear multiple times. What does the panel configuration look like? The panel configuration will literally look like one panel as if it has, say, all the finishes. So fabric, top cap, any type of end cap. And it's going to have that finish on it. So it would just show one panel. Can they show which pricing column to show? Yeah, so that's been asked a few times. That's definitely something I'm going to take back to our devs. Will be the line with the cut sheets that may be coming out of CET? I'm not sure because I'm not sure of what the cut sheets are coming out of CET. That could be different based off of manufacturers and or who's participating, but I am not sure. These are just going to a PowerPoint, so that is our output as of now. The pricing right now is showing list. However, many have requested sell or having the option to select. So that's something that we will want to enhance for you guys. Can you rotate the image? As of now, no. I'm hoping in the future that is something we will be able to control. But as of right now, the answer to that is no. How do parts run in the cut sheet? If there is an image of a part, like if it's just a leg, literally just the leg will appear. So if you see in worksheet, in the preview image, if you see just a leg, then a leg is going to appear with the finish on it. If the obviously if the finish material is there. Can we reformat the page setup or select PowerPoint template for this to export to? We can reformat it now. But again, I think next week when we go deeper into what we want with cut sheets, that's where we're going to see the customization that is being requested today. I'm assuming that if we have worksheet license, that we automatically get this functionality, right? You sure do. So next Tuesday, remember, if you have not updated actual worksheets, so there's a couple of things, right? You've got your content downloader. That's this lovely little, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's my lovely little icon if you can see me pointing it at the bottom. That's for content, right? Like that's where each month you should be going into content downloader, in which, by the way, If you haven't been in there, you should also realize that, and I'm going to open it because I want you guys to see this because it's important, because there was an assumption made by a user the other day, and I could see why that assumption would happen, but also let's not assume, because we all know what happens when we assume, right? So because of Pricing Center, it has caused a smidge of confusion. People are assuming if a manufacturer is in Pricing Center, you are all good to go. With pricing, you are, but you still have to update the catalog, the content, the data that comes along with that pricing. The other part of it too is no matter if you're in grid or list, this was added a while ago, but again, if you're not coming in here frequently, this is going to be new to you. We have updated next to the manufacturers that have updated for April, right? Same thing will happen for May. We'll tell you the date down here. This is great. I love coming into my list view and then only having to select what's updated instead of having to select everything. So you need to come in here every month and update the content until we get all content in the cloud. Fingers crossed, that's coming sometime next year. However, once you're done there, then I need to close you out. And here, right, File Pricing Center is where it's going to get you there. If you don't see File Pricing Center, that means your worksheet isn't up to date. And also would mean if you don't see Pricing Center, you're not going to see cut sheets because you are not on the most recent version of Worksheet. So you need to go out to the to our website and download the most recent version next week, not today. So yes, all cut sheets are going to have the same basic information. I'm still not sure if the COM will show up. I want to say no, but I'm going to take this list of questions and the ones that I know I couldn't answer for you today. I'm going to, when we send out our follow-up with the video, I'm going to put in like a little Q&A in there of some of these that I've not been able to answer immediately for you guys. Yes. So same thing. Cheers will show up multiple times, right? We just showcase that here. We added that in. You can see this one. Yeah, it's just the same one. Showing list price. If you manually enter a line, we'll look at export as well into worksheets. That one I'm not sure of. And if a manufacturer doesn't have the finishes available, will there be placeholders for the finishes? So what will happen? Yeah, I mean, you'll still go through it in worksheets like you always do, but you'll see here when you get to the actual rendering, my finishes, I've selected everything, right? But the actual materials, the manufacturer did not supply to us, which is why it's not getting applied in this little image. So again, if you guys are coming across that, I mean, if you've worked with me over the years, you know that I've always said, go and complain to the manufacturer and let them know, because the more they hear it, you're selling, the faster they're going to want to go ahead and do that because you're trying to make the best experience possible for your client. I also want to, we also want to hear about it too, so we can talk to those manufacturers. But that is why this is happening. If we're not in the Pricing Center, will the cut sheets work? Yeah, they're two totally different things. My reason in bringing that up is a lot of people will go, well, I don't see either. If you don't see either, the easiest fix is go out and update worksheet because you're on a likely much older version. But when you update at any point, you would see both Pricing Center and cut sheets. Great questions, you guys. What about the manufacturers that don't have the option description populated? That would be the same thing as a material, right? If they're not populating that, then what we pull out of there is only what we see. So that's something that, again, we would want to talk with that manufacturer. And, at this point now, we can actually show them, like, look, this is what is happening when your products are being utilized through worksheet and cut sheet to try to push them to move into getting that information for you guys to make it easier. All right. I think that is, oh, we have one more. Is there a way to show the option lines that describe what the choices are, like where a fabric is applied if there are multiple fabrics? Again, I'm going to go ahead and put that into our what we need to look at and how we can customize for next week. I'm really excited about that webinar next week, you guys, because it is going to really, really help where we go next, right? So once we got the basics, I have started to hear more and more. And then now that we've got this, I'm ready to move on to that next point, right? So crawl, walk, run. Where do we update the software to see cut sheets? I see pricer, but no cut sheets. Correct. So you're not going to see cut sheets today. So, okay, anybody who may have logged on just a smidge later, anything, we are holding the release until next Tuesday. It was supposed to happen today. And we found a bug that was significant enough that made us pause and say, we need to make sure that it's fixed, because obviously we don't want to have your day be consumed with issues in software. So you are not today going to go into the tool and see cut sheets. You will today. You can see Pricing Center. So that is available, has been available. But today you will not. So if you go to File and you go right above Print where you can see this, it's not going to be there. It'll be there next Tuesday. So next Tuesday, you know, it's basically like Christmas morning. Wake up, you got cut sheets. How do we sign up for the next week's webinar? You will have to go out onto the Design Pop website. That is with Alexandra Stefov, and sign up for her webinar. If you go out there, you'll see, I believe it's like usually right on her front page, especially when a webinar is coming up, and you can sign up there. So the Design Pop is the name of the company if you have not heard of her. All right. So with that said, that's a perfect way to end here. I am going to be doing that webinar next week as well. That's actually going to be on Monday, so it will be right before you guys get access to cut sheets. But please come on. I want to have open minds. I also want people to think outside of the box, right? Although we've been doing things basically for over 30 years the same way, let's think about how we can do things for the future to help our customers in a more efficient manner. So with all of that said, thank you everybody for coming on today. It was wonderful getting to show you this. Also love all of the questions. And if you have anything specific, feel free to reach out to me directly. Always happy to chat with you guys. So have a wonderful rest of your week, and hopefully I'll see you next week on the next webinar. Bye, everyone.